including this past year, and 2 national championships. Kyle Neptune, our former right assistant, is to take over. I'm Eddie Garcia.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal-Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning and happy Thursday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen. Early Break, full show ahead. Mike Schaefer from 7 to 8 today, as always, on Thursdays. We will also talk plenty about a lot of news yesterday in the world of sports. Jay Wright stepping down at Villanova. We have news at Nebraska regarding a departure to the portal. But I tell you what, Sip, the drive to work today, I couldn't tell if it was fog or still just the after effect of Snoop Dogg last night in Lincoln.
Oh, dumb.
Just a cloud of cloud out there.
What's you're supposed to do with the drum after you tell a joke?
Ba-doom.
Ba-doom. Oh, yeah, it's funny.
Thank you. I thought about that all morning.
Lame attempt.
Yeah, well, you know. That's why I'm a sit-down guy. I'm not a stand-up comedian, you know. So,
good morning.
Good morning to you.
I'm trying to adjust the mic.
Microphone issues as usual over there. There
Looks
you go.
like it's pretty good now.
Got it. Way to go.
I keep always telling our guests speak into that microphone.
Yeah, and then you don't follow your own advice sometimes. But you're doing well now.
Now, this is going to be an interesting show.
Yes, and as always, you can call or text us at 402-464-5685. The news of yesterday in Lincoln is that a position that is already lacking depth and players in general is going to lack it even more because Casey Rogers has entered his name into the transfer portal for Nebraska on the defensive line. Sip, of course, as we knew, he did not play this spring because of an injury suffered the final snap against Iowa to end the season in November. But this is somebody that you were relying on to start for you and be a contributor for a line that is lacking depth. And now, I mean, if you were already on code red for if you weren't on code red for the defensive line, now you're definitely on code red for them.
There is a path to a good discussion about this.
Okay.
That path is probably you sharing your thoughts, your true thoughts about this situation, and me keeping mine pretty much to myself.
Oh, okay.
But still evaluating the situation. It's like when I showed my dad my tattoo.
Okay. Oh.
Okay. I all these college football matters that come up now remind me of the day I came home from New Orleans and showed my dad. I don't talk about this tattoo very often, but I showed him that tattoo on my arm, and when I went to the tattoo parlor, I said, I want a tattoo of a crazed reptile. Okay. And the guy sketched out something. I said, I don't know how you did that, but that is perfect.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's a reptile with its head backwards, its eyes rolled back, and its tongue hanging out. Like it's crazy, like it's deranged.
Okay.
That's often how I feel. So it's especially now. So it's very representative. But my dad just looked at it, said, that's unfortunate. And he just put his head down. So I oftentimes find myself in this college football world thinking of my dad's very classy reaction.
That's unfortunate.
Just look at the situation, put your head down, and say that's unfortunate. Now you're going to have to share your feelings. The most interesting thing that I saw, or one of the most interesting things I saw yesterday, was a tweet from Jamari Butler.
Okay.
His teammate.
Yes.
And this is informative to us because you could take this wrong. And I initially did. I thought Jamari Butler, who is a sophomore defensive end / outside linebacker, might be a redshirt freshman. Hard to know these days because everybody's, because of COVID, they messed up the years. But did you see Jamari Butler's tweet?
I did. Can you please read it again since you have it pulled up?
Yes. Jamari Butler tweeted this. He quote tweeted Sean Callahan's tweet about the news of Casey Rogers. He said, "Get money wherever you go, slime." And I thought, ooh, that's trouble. There's locker room dissension. That is a problem. The guys are talking. It's not good. This is informative to us because we are having trouble understanding this world, right?
We are.
That tweet is complimentary. That is not some sort of missile fired at Casey Rogers. Get money wherever you go, slime, is basically like saying, go get yours. And in the Urban Dictionary, slime.
Oh, here we go. Look at this research here.
The Urban Dictionary, slime is another word for you're a cool ass person. It is another word for homie.
Oh, God.
It's another word for homie.
Okay, homie.
That's what the Urban Dictionary said. I just read straight from.
Okay, well, good job.
So it's not. That was not a missive. That was him complimenting Casey. So I thought that was fascinating. And it's informative to us because we don't necessarily understand this new world. That we don't understand a world where with just a few months before the season, he's essentially leaving his teammates, right? In a predicament. And I would bet that his teammates are just fine with it because that's the world we're in.
Well,
there is no sense in us getting on the radio and yelling about it. There's not. The train has left the station, my friend.
Well, every team is facing these issues
right.
of losing players that they probably really didn't want to lose or couldn't afford to lose. Nebraska really could not afford in a position that they are weak in. They are just lacking depth. They couldn't really afford to lose Casey Rogers. Now you really have to, if you don't get O'Shawn Mathis, you got to get a couple other guys in the portal this offseason.
Probably need an interior.
You need an interior guy.
Yeah, you need an interior lineman. There's a million ways to take the conversation, and they're all pretty interesting to me. Let's start it here. Generally speaking, if a guy goes into the portal, he already knows where he's going.
And Casey Rogers tweeted out early, right after that, he got an offer from Arkansas.
Which, by the way, just received $10 million in NIL money from J.B. Hunt. It is a massive NIL operation at Arkansas. Think about it. Walmart. It's
right. Well,
it is. It is a massive operation. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's why he's going there. You wonder, of course, in this. Why wouldn't you wonder? The other thing you find out about this conversation, it's ugly. People will attack you. You will get attacked if you don't share the views. It's much like society right now. You are liable to get into quite a fight if you share your true feelings about this. So it's better just to say, that's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
And just look at the ground. Stare down.
No need
now, that's not good radio. So we have to figure out a path to good radio. It seems to me you are holding back, and that's fine. You're safe with me.
Well, as you know, my
you're in a
thoughts
safe
and
place right now.
Yeah. Thank you. It's just me and you talking. Nobody else can hear this at all. It's just us talking.
You're in a safe place.
Again, this happens to every team. This is not just a Nebraska thing, and Nebraska has not really been hurt that badly. I mean, Wandale really hurt to lose him in the portal, and Adrian we thought was going to happen at some point. He did leave for Kansas State. But you haven't had like this, massive amount of people, 15 people leave in a couple days. Where you saw it, a couple schools, you've seen a ton of guys leave, and these guys are entering the portal. It hasn't been horrible at Nebraska in terms of guys that you really want. Again, Wandale was painful. Adrian, it was probably coming at some point soon. And beyond that, it hasn't been that bad. But this is just unfortunate that we have to go down in the summer not knowing exactly who's going to be on the defensive line next year. Ty Robinson's going to be there unless he somehow leaves.
All right.
He better stay. He better stay.
Yeah. Ty Robinson, Colton Feast.
Colton Feast, a guy we haven't seen.
Right.
We've heard good things about him in spring ball, but we have not seen him on the field in actual play in a Big Ten game. This now makes the portal extremely important this offseason, in May, June, to get a couple guys, not just one, a couple guys on the defensive line from wherever you get them, because Nebraska needs dudes ASAP.
Yes. And we'll get to the returners. I mean, they lost. I mean, you got to think about what they lost. Ben Stille exhausted his eligibility. Damian Daniels could have come back, elected to go the NFL route. DeAndre Thomas could have come back. He is not going the NFL route. As far as I know, he's just retired from football. Now, I wonder if Mike Dawson, the D-line coach, would make that call to DeAndre Thomas to say, hey,
please,
please
come back.
And then you lost Jordan Riley, who transferred to Oregon, and he doesn't have eligibility right now. He already had transferred once. This is his second transfer. He went to Oregon, but I don't know that he's going to be eligible. So what you have is Robinson, the fourth-year Ty, the fourth-year sophomore, like you said, Nash Hutmacher,
who haven't really seen do a ton yet.
Right. And then, a whole slew of names that we just really, we're just not very familiar with.
Raquan Buckley, you haven't seen yet. Mosai Newsome.
Yeah.
Jalen Weaver.
Marquise Black.
Those
are the guys.
Tate Wildeman.
Tate Wildeman is retired from football.
Sorry.
He weighs 215 pounds.
Oh, there you go. There's another guy down there.
Well, he's not going to transfer portal.
I know, but I'm just saying.
He just retired from
for people actually on the roster right now. It's if they're not even there.
So now
Brody Tagalo is a new guy.
Now there's one part of the conversation I'm sure will be very appealing to you. What if I told you that this is just Casey Rogers exercising some leverage and saying, okay, I'm going to go into portal, and then making Nebraska respond with NIL money. Now, as a Nebraska coach, do you take him back, or do you have to draw the line in that? And I'm not saying he's doing that for sure, but you wonder,
well,
wouldn't you have to draw the line at some point and say, we can't have guys just going off the roster trying to get money, then coming back on?
This is the question I have. And because I hadn't heard, unless you'd heard that Casey Rogers was unhappy before.
I hadn't heard that.
Right, exactly. I hadn't heard anything about him being unhappy. So my question is this an example, Sip, of poaching someone's roster actively? Because for him to have an Arkansas offer pretty much immediately, that's essentially saying that's them poaching your roster, saying, all right, we're going to offer you something that Nebraska can't offer you.
Well, we don't know for sure, but come on now.
And we thought that would happen for Nebraska for for different schools, smaller schools, but Nebraska's had their own roster poached by Arkansas.
Is there tampering? Of course there's tampering going on. I mean, to deny that is crazy. We're just in a world now where coaches say it all the time. This is an original thought on Early Break with Sip and Jake, that you have to continue to recruit your own players. Now, Casey Rogers, you think would fall out of that category because why? He's guaranteed a starting spot.
He was going to start here.
Yeah,
he was going to start next season.
He guaranteed a starting spot.
Guaranteed.
I mean, maybe. And I've heard a little of this, that big deal from Mathis, strong six figures, etc., that doesn't necessarily sit well with everybody. Okay. It doesn't. Why would it? So now that's when we say there's locker room challenges. There's locker room challenges.
I'm just surprised people push back on that, to think that there's not going to be issues with some guys making a bunch and some guys making not. Stop it. It's going to cause problems. It is causing problems. To say that won't cause problems is the blindest eye you can possibly have to the situation. People get jealous. I mean, come on. This is a brand new thing in college football, college sports. I mean, there's obviously been in the past before this was legal. There was stuff under the table that nobody knew out loud, and now people know what people are making. Those players know what the other players are making.
What happens is you get a lot of.
There's got to be locker room problems.
What happens in these conversations? This is where you calm yourself. Is a lot. There's a lot of it gets really irrational. Well, Sipple, you're at Frontier Harley Davidson looking at Harleys. You're picking another Harley. Why can't he pick another school? I mean, it gets really irrational.
The comparisons are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, your own father is divorced. He picked another woman, Sipple. You got lack of commitment in your DNA. It's like, okay, it just gets really.
Is that really
right?
We're gonna go.
Tony from Hastings sends me an email. Yeah, Tony from Hastings sends me an email. I see your passive aggressive shots at the transfer portal on social media. Yeah, your own father is divorced.
Okay.
He picked another woman. There is lack of commitment in your very DNA. Like, okay, see, it gets really irrational.
It's email to send to somebody.
Yeah, it gets
Tony.
But yeah, I mean, it gets really irrational. Like, people start yelling. They yell about it. How dare you question these kids when you're at Frontier Harley Davidson picking out another Harley? You have no commitment to your present bike. It's like, all right. Yeah, what am I going to do? What are you going to do?
I wouldn't respond to that email. Just say, you know what? Just keep doing what you're doing.
No, I mean, hey, that's the world we're in. That's the world we're in.
Michael says, wait, was that a real take from Tony?
That's a real take from Tony. I'm telling you, these conversations get nasty.
Lack of commitment to someone's DNA.
Yeah.
Oh God, people have lost their damned minds.
It is, Steve. It is in your very DNA. Oh, okay.
Oh man, it's rough.
So yeah, now it's what's fascinating in this conversation is this is a kid who has a starting job basically no matter what right now here at Nebraska. Now, there are some people that I heard from former players yesterday, one in particular, that wondered if maybe that was scary to him. That now, when you're a starter and you're fairly proven, teams have a bead on you, and they know your tendencies. And by the way, the spotlight's on you now.
If that's the case, I feel sad for him.
Well, no,
he can't handle the starting role or the spotlight.
He's fine. I mean, that's just a theory.
I hope that's an inaccurate theory. Right. I hope that's not the case. He didn't want to start or wasn't ready for that.
I saw the ugliness yesterday because I heard from former players that are like, "Hey, what the hell is going on?" And then I caught myself. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to spend my Thursday getting yelled at by people that are adamant and then turning college football into this big war zone. I'm not doing it. I'll stare at my computer. Jake,
that's unfortunate.
One way to handle this is don't pay much attention to the roster until game one and just see who runs out there.
See how much stuff.
Just see who runs out there.
Season.
Yeah, see who runs out there. I mean, do you understand, Jake, that his teammates are, I'd say the large percentage are very supportive of this move. Because you're not going to get, they certainly grew up different than me. And they probably grew up different than you. We don't have the same value systems. That loyalty to your teammates is no longer, it's still there, but it's no longer, it's almost something that gets mocked now.
I would just like to know. And
do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I'd like to know.
There's a loyalty aspect to this, right? Like, what is it? Aren't those your guys? Aren't those your guys? That now, even if you're unhappy, there's a lot of guys that I've covered and that I know, even if they're unhappy, they're not leaving. If their situation's not even good for them, they say, well, wait, I mean, I came here and I gave a commitment to the coaches, the university, and my guys. That is now, I find that's You get mocked for that. I bet I'm getting mocked on.
Well,
I'm getting mocked on the text line right now.
I would say, to be fair to the people that are before this and the players who leave, what was Casey Rogers recruited by Tony Tuioti, or was it somebody else? It was not Mike Dawson recruited him, was it?
Absolutely not. It was Tony Tuioti.
So that's when people,
and he might be going to Oregon, where they're hurting for linemen, by the way.
That's when people will bring up, well, he committed to, did he commit to the program or to the coach or his assistant coach? That's where that conversation comes into play regarding commitment and loyalty.
Right.
Yes, that I committed to that coach at that university. I wanted to play there for him. He left. Then maybe things open up a conversation about, okay, what's acceptable and what's going to be something that we criticize when it comes to a player.
Yeah, I just don't want to criticize Casey. I don't want to do it.
Well, it's like the common thing to do now is to leave your program.
Right. And the other interesting,
thousands of names in the portal.
Yeah, the interesting part of this is when the players leave, they don't have to explain it to anybody. I mean, he won't talk. He's not going to do an interview. We don't know why he left. I mean, and that's just part of the deal. There is literally a way you can handle this, and what I suggested is not too far off. Why worry about it? On August 27th, Nebraska will trot out a team. On August 27th, you'll know who's playing.
Yeah.
Okay. And who's not. And almost you have to look at college sports that way. That's you almost have to do it that way.
From Gary, he says we have to keep recruiting the players that are here every year in this new world. Basically,
yes, the new world.
It's not just the players coming in and the freshmen and in the portal guys. It's your own guys. You have to recruit still.
And here's one constructive way to talk about this is it puts a premium on depth. You have to have a lot of depth because you don't know at a given time who might take off, right? For whatever reason. There could be a variety of reasons. It could be a girlfriend. I've heard that theory. It could be that you have a new assistant coach that it's not perfect. It could be a family matter. But what I'm suggesting is, for instance, like the secondary. When I look at Nebraska's secondary right now, they could afford a guy going into the transfer portal at probably corner or safety right now. I mean, if Braxton Clark decided to go into the transfer portal, they'd still be okay at corner. They have 4 safeties they probably feel pretty good about. If one jumped in, it wouldn't be like this. It really reinforces the importance of depth across your roster in this world, because you don't know who's taking off.
Depth is harder to have in this world now.
Yes, it is.
Because some guys don't want to be the backup.
And your roster is being recruited.
Exactly.
And the tampering is not legal. It is not within the rules. But do you think tampering's not going on in college football?
It's for sure going on.
It's
rampant. It happened with Casey Rogers. Probably.
Right. It's rampant. There's tampering. Okay.
And Nebraska might be guilty of tampering also.
Sure. They have to be. I would be really disappointed if they're not.
I'm sure they are tampering in some.
I would be very disappointed if they're not tampering. How could you get in? How could you get along in college football right now if you're not? Yeah, you got to be looking at other rosters and putting out feelers.
Let's get a call from Vince in Napa, California. Vince, you're on early break. Go ahead, man.
Good morning, fellas. How are you?
I'd say we're fired up, Vince.
Oh, absolutely. Well, absolutely we are, because when it comes to transfer portal and when it comes to NIL, I mean, it's definitely something to get fired up about. But first of all, Sip, I went to a gas station yesterday that only charged $5.19 a gallon.
Oh.
Out here is like a gold mine.
Nice, good job.
But I usually go to the Safeway that's currently charging $5.25. So I guess I don't have any loyalty to them, right?
No, I mean, I question your loyalty and commitment. I really do.
How dare I?
How dare you,
right?
Vince?
Yeah, but,
Vince from Napa.
But anyhow, here's what it comes back to, and this is what I keep coming back to when it comes to the transfer portal and the NIL, which I know are in a way, they're two different things, but there are, at least from a principle standpoint, some similarities as well. But to me, I mean, again, both have existed for quite a while. It's just that now everything's out in the open. I think it's more because we have so much more knowledge about it. But as far as the transfer portal is concerned, and maybe maybe I'm 49 years old and living in too much of an idealistic world, but I look at it like this. I mean, I've always felt that scholarships should have an escape clause. Number one, if a young man or young woman doesn't graduate from the school within 5 years, you treat the scholarship, as a student loan from that particular point. And also, number two, if a player is found to have knowingly violated NCAA rules during their time at the school, then you treat the scholarship as a loan to be repaid from that particular time. Because to me, here's what it accomplishes. You keep the transfer portal open because there are legitimate purposes, but at least it will slow down players from leaving early or transferring. And Sip, yes. I'm going to go back to the one-liner that I used yesterday.
Okay.
I mean, no matter who leaves or no matter who goes, we have a game to play come August 27th. And no matter who's on this roster, you come out and you fight with bloody knuckles.
All right, Vince.
Vince, I hope that's not the last time I hear that. God bless you.
Thank you, Vince.
Good job, Vince. And good job finding the gas. Finding the cheap gas in California.
It's not easy to find.
I think we got through this discussion all right. Did we just get hammered on?
No, we didn't get hammered. No,
really?
No.
We are just shaking our fists at the clouds. We're not.
That's going to happen all the time. I'm known to shake my fist at the clouds.
You've handled this pretty well.
Yeah. Well,
just look down and shake
I've
your
handled
head.
it well because
it's not great radio.
No, as you know, not many things surprise me in this world anymore.
You sent me some fairly dark text
regarding this.
Yeah. Regarding the world.
Yeah.
They've been fairly dark.
Those texts will stay between you and me.
Okay. That's fine.
But I have sent you some dark texts. But here we are.
Well, there's one very bright and sunny way to look at it. All of this. Sometimes I lean back in my chair, smile, and think we are heading toward a cataclysmic end in this world anyway. So what the hell does any of this matter? That's one.
Yeah, you are one dark human being, aren't you? You're just terribly dark over there.
Well, the tattoo is very apt. I was ahead of my time.
Yeah,
I got a reptile that looks like it's losing its mind. Its eyes are rolled back, and its tongue is out, and its head is backwards. Tell me that's not how you often feel in this world.
That's how I feel all the time. Right. I just try to ignore the things out there and live my own life. Be in my own circle.
I think we got through this.
Yeah, you can always call or text us 402-464-5685.
There are a lot of it is an interesting discussion for sure. Now you wonder, is there more? Is there more coming? I don't know that.
That is the question.
Yeah.
Is this the start of something or is
just
one-off here?
Yeah, it could be a one-off. I don't know.
Jamari Butler also said, someone tweeted, what are your thoughts on the news? Jamari Butler says, no one cares, next man up. That was another tweet from Jamari Butler yesterday.
Did you know that slime was actually, if I called you, all right, homie, we're coming back for more slime. That is not
I'm just glad you read the Urban Dictionary for that for us. That was wonderful.
That is not derogatory.
Jay Wright is done at Villanova. More on that next, an early break in the ticket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast today, some dense fog this morning will give way to partly sunny skies this afternoon. We'll see a high near 74. Tonight, showers are likely, and we'll see a low around 57. Tomorrow, we could see a chance for some spotty showers and storms. We'll see a high near 85. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Find great deals now on new Rams, Jeeps, and more during Ram Truck Month and the Jeep Celebration event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our entire inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles anytime. At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Spring has arrived. Dust off your clubs and play the city. Lincoln City Golf Courses offer 5 different places to play, including Holmes, Pioneers, Highlands, Mahoney, and the par 3 Jim Ager course. Plus, one membership gets you access to all 5 courses, or ask about a discount card that gets you 15% off all rounds. There's also adult classes with lessons for every level with Lincoln City Golf Academy. Learn more about membership and classes today at lincolncitygolf.org.
An Empire Fence is an investment in your home. This year, use your tax return to make that investment. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and security while improving the appearance of your home. Visit empire-fence.com to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home. With your tax return on the way, schedule your project now. Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence.
From selling a home to even building one, you're doing a lot and need a lender who can help you do it. Like Lisa Workman of Security First Bank.
Mortgage lending is my true passion. As the director of mortgage lending, I work to ensure you receive exceptional customer service.
Mortgage lending from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 505011 and 616196.
Are you sick of mindlessly running on a treadmill or the lack of motivation to consistently work out? Whatever your challenge, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help. Whether you want to lose weight, boost energy, or simply improve your overall health, you'll fit right in at Farrell's regardless of age or abilities. Build endurance with their kickboxing and strength training group fitness classes while also getting nutrition coaching. Try Farrell's now for a free week. Visit fxblincoln.com or call Jeff at 402-310-4026. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. Bagels and Joe is ready for the spring with pesto cream cheese, great on any bagel. Try a mint and peach Arnold Palmer while you're there, and don't forget their locally roasted coffee, delicious breakfast burritos, and bagel boxes for the office. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
This,
well, good morning, little brother,
is Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now, I have said many times on this show, I don't get surprised very often about anything in life, any news or things that happen to me or things that happen to you. I don't get surprised. I was surprised to see something yesterday in the sports world, Sip. It wasn't Casey Rogers. I was surprised to see that Jay Wright, at 60 years old, fresh off a Final Four appearance for Villanova, is retiring from basketball as a coach. 60 years old, Villanova coach Jay Wright joins the likes of Coach K, who's stepping down. We saw Mark Turgeon mid-season step down. We saw Chris Mack. We saw, of course, Roy Williams step down recently. Hubert Davis takes over at North Carolina. A bunch of big names have left the profession as NIL takes over in college sports.
Yeah, be careful just making that that's the
it's a big part of it.
Well, we don't know that for sure because Jay Wright has never said that. There was a paragraph in a CBS Sports.com story about this that got my attention, and that is, it said, quote, privately, Wright has shared his frustrations with some of the significant ways the sport now operates. Right.
So,
now,
I mean, that's sounds like
if you trust CBS Sports, which I do, yeah, Gary Parrish says, But the truth is, Gary Parrish of CBSSports.com says the truth is a larger number of great college basketball coaches are probably going to spend their coming years and decades making enough money in their 40s and 50s so they can leave it behind at an earlier age than the previously expected retirement age for great coaches. On some level, Parrish says, it's impossible not to think that's what Jay Wright just did. So it's totally reasonable to wish him happiness in retirement, but also be concerned about what it says about the profession he's leaving. And he also says, do you really believe, Gary Parrish says, do you really believe it's coincidence that Roy Williams, Coach K, and Jay Wright all retired within 13 months of each other, or that Maryland's coach, Mark Turgeon, and Louisville's coach, Chris Mack, just quit in the middle of the season? Do you think that's coincidence? John Cook was on these airwaves with us.
He was.
And said there's a lot of coaches leaving volleyball because they do not want to deal with this new world. That is their prerogative. That is the way to handle it. If you don't want to deal with it, you leave. If you don't want to deal with it and you have to stay and you want to keep participating, one way to handle it when these conversations come up, you shake your head, put your head down, and keep going. Because that is a way to handle it. And this doesn't have to be a fight every time a coach leaves or a player jumps in the portal or a player gets paid $1 million. It doesn't have to be a fist fight. There don't have to be expletives. That you don't have to challenge someone's values against yours. You can just move on.
This is the first one, though, that with Jay Wright. So the other situation is, Coach K is old. He's in the 70s.
He's 75.
Right. Okay. It's probably time for him. He's 75 years old. Roy Williams was old.
Yeah.
Is he in his 70s or is he upper 60s?
I will look that up.
He's either upper 60s or low 70s. We get it. Chris Mack and Mark Turgeon, they weren't doing well at their schools. Mark Turgeon, again, had success at Maryland, but this year wasn't good. The school and Mark Turgeon agreed to part ways about 11 games into the season. Chris Mack was having a lack of success at Louisville. Jay Wright's the first one of all these that it's like, okay, wow, this is somebody that has plenty of years left, just came off a Final Four appearance. Oh, by the way, he was in the Final Four this season.
National titles in 2016 and 2018.
This is the first one where you're like, okay, yeah, is this the one that potentially starts any sort of domino effect here? Are you going to hear more coaches that follow the Jay Wright route?
Roy Williams, 71.
Okay, old. I mean, yeah, that's an old age to be coaching at.
Coach K, 75. Yeah.
Jay Wright had probably at least 10 years of good coaching left. He might still coach somewhere. Maybe he goes to the NBA.
Yeah, would you be surprised if he ended up in the NBA? And I think you'll see that more. But now I think you'll see that more. Like, those jobs are easy to get. They're not. Well, not even easy for Jay Wright to get, probably.
Well, think about the NBA. For the last big time college coach to make that leap didn't work out well. John Beilein, it did not work well for him with the Cavaliers, right? Successful college coach at Michigan and West Virginia, thought to be a great hire for the Cavs, did not go well for him.
He did not adjust to that.
He didn't adjust.
Jay Wright would have to adjust to a different world where it's more structured. I mean, it's a structured, there are guardrails that this current world the current college landscape is devoid of sufficient guardrails to handle this massive change. One-time transfer, NIL. It was foisted upon us too soon. The NCAA went forward with it under a lot of pressure from, I'm just going to say us, but also from state government, from government in general. And this is what we have. We have a mess. We have a colossal mess, which Jay Wright does not have to deal with because he's made a king's ransom. If you have made money and you don't have to deal with it, why would you?
On that note, Corey Lincoln says this in the text line. He says, Jay Wright got filthy rich from coaching college basketball. He can afford to retire.
Right.
There will always be a line of qualified candidates tripping over themselves to get that job or other big jobs.
Yes, I agree. I think so. I think you will see great coaches leave the profession.
Greg at Myrtle Beach has chimed in.
Okay, probably opposite of what Corey said.
Greg at Myrtle Beach, knows Roy Williams well.
Okay.
He says, Roy Williams is in excellent health. He loves coaching and would do it for free. Coach K and Jay will not tolerate the pimping of players.
Well, now hold on. I mean, that's a little. It was going on, right? It was already going on before NIL.
And they probably had the benefit of that.
Right.
And now everybody can do it.
Right. So I don't know. But I know this. They're not going to talk about it. Jay Wright's not going to come out and say what we're saying. There's no way. Because he knows the backlash. The backlash would be severe. Because these conversations are very, if you're with someone who's not like-minded, they get ugly. You've seen it. I've seen it.
Do you want to know another thing that
expletives fly?
Yeah.
They challenge your values. And it's not worth having. This is college sports is supposed to be fun, man. We don't have to drag societal issues into this, do we? I don't want to. I'm done with it. I am my father now. I look at it and say it's unfortunate, and I put my head down.
Well, other news from yesterday, which kind of correlates with this a little bit about NIL in college basketball, is that the National Player of the Year, Oscar Tshiebwe from Kentucky, is coming back for next year. Reportedly, we're going to get upwards to $2 million in NIL to stay at Kentucky versus go to the pros.
Now, that is a case where he earned it. I mean, he's earned it at least. This is not a player who's unproven. He averaged 17 points and 15 rebounds.
He's a stud.
He was the consensus National Player of the Year.
He's a beast.
Yeah. He's a proven entity. This isn't handing $1 million to somebody who's never done anything at the collegiate level. This is a National Player of the Year as deemed so by 6 different bodies. Okay. Someone who averaged 15 rebounds a game. This is not an NIL situation where you necessarily look at and say, this is bad. This is a proven entity.
Yeah. And
on a 26-8 team. Now that got upset by St. Peter's, but 26-8, 15 rebounds a game. Need him, pay him.
This is an example for those who are supportive of NIL of why it was good for college basketball or college sports, because instead of having a one and done player in Tshiebwe going to the NBA, hey, you can keep around for maybe a year or a couple of years.
Oscar Tshiebwe.
Yeah.
Yeah. This would be his second year in the program.
Right.
Instead of him just going off, maybe you keep a few guys now. Right.
So I guess if that's one of your arguments for why NIL is good,
absolutely,
then this is a good day for you.
Absolutely.
This was good news for you in that conversation, that argument.
You can pay him maybe more than a rookie contract. A rookie contract is right in. I mean, if you look up a rookie contract, it's not necessarily $2 million. Depends on where you're slotted. I don't know if you can find that information quickly, but I've looked at the rookie deals, and they don't exceed $2 million. In the second round. I mean, that can be verified. Go ahead if you are trying to do this.
Let's see here. This was
he is not, by the way, I don't think he would be a guaranteed high first round pick. He doesn't, he's like Hansbrough. That's why I've seen him compared to Tyler Hansbrough, where he's not, Hansbrough, Jake. Remember Tyler Hansbrough? Yeah. Well, didn't have a great outside shot. Didn't have much of an outside shot at all.
He lasted for a while in the league, though.
But was he a very high pick? I don't
remember for that. So in terms of last year, the NBA draft, the last pick of the first round, the first year salary was $1.6 million.
Yeah, he's paying him more than
So if Oscar Tshiebwe was the player of the year, if he's getting $2 million a year or $2 million next year from Kentucky or NIL in Kentucky to stay, that would be the equivalent of the 22nd overall pick
And
in the draft.
I think I don't know that he necessarily slots as a top 10 pick. I mean, there's some. He's a Tyler Hansbrough
If he was
type
top
player.
10, the 10th overall pick this past year made $3.6 million.
Right now, if he's leaving some money on the table, whatever. I don't know what all went into his decision making process. They also have another player that has a deal with Porsche and drives a Porsche at Kentucky. Kentucky's a pretty good place to go play basketball.
Yeah, it is.
I'd say. So yeah, that's an example of one that I think that's just, I'm much more comfortable with that. And also people get it confused. We often lump NIL with the transfer portal, right? They're separate, but all of it came about simultaneously, and they're pretty much inextricably linked, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of guys in the portal are going to go to certain places because of an NIL deal.
I find that when people are yelling at each other about this world we're in, they start off by yelling about one of them, but then it seeps into the other, and naturally it does. I mean, because they came about at the same time, and they're linked. When a player goes in the transfer portal, you wonder what kind of deal does he have elsewhere, right?
Yep.
So they're linked.
It's just that's the times we're in right now.
Embrace.
I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to do it.
Embrace. Just
look down.
Just look down. Maybe not pay. Well, you have to pay attention. You have a radio show.
Yeah, I know.
And we both, by the way, can't just look down
for
and
2
not
hours.
talk. That would not be quality radio.
Kind of funny at the video stream, though. Rick Heyman's Song of the Day is next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Let's go ahead and head right to the phone lines. Bob, what's up?
Hey, I'm here at the ballpark.
How are the elements? Is it nice outside?
Oh, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. When it's out of the north, it's not too windy. When I first got here, about a half hour ago. Yeah, Sexy! Yeah! Sexy! Put it down there, Sexy! I'm sorry.
It's okay. I love it. Thank you, Bob. Bob, we're going to let you go, Bob.
All right. I'll be here.
Weekdays from 2 to 3 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses, creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com. If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Storage Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 Highway 6 in Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction on June 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
From selling a home to even building one, you're doing a lot and need a lender who can help you do it. Like Lisa Workman of Security First Bank.
Mortgage lending is my true passion. As a director of mortgage lending, I work to ensure you receive exceptional customer service.
Mortgage lending from Security First Bank, We're the bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 505011 and 616196.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast today, some dense fog this morning will give way to partly sunny skies this afternoon. We'll see a high near 74. Tonight, showers are likely and we'll see a low around 57. Tomorrow, we could see a chance for some spotty showers and storms. We'll see a high near 85. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cluckman for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
An Empire Fence is an investment in your home. This year, use your tax return to make that investment. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and security while improving the appearance of your home. Visit empire-fence.com to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home. With your tax return on the way, schedule your project now. Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence.
Move over, Jake.
I'm moving. Jeez.
Thursdays are reserved for a man with a wider range of music knowledge than Jake could ever dream of.
This is the golden era. You would hear this on any radio station. You know, it wasn't like it is now.
Okay.
You know, you got country, you got R&B, you got pop, you got rap, you got rock. They didn't have that then. You heard everything.
A man who knows a good song when he hears it, just as much as a good diamond when he sees it.
You get a diamond!
Yes, I do get a diamond. I get a diamond, and that makes me happy.
It's time for Rick Heyman's Song of the Day, sponsored by Sartor Heyman Jewelers, on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket.
Coming to you on a dusty road. Good loving, I got a truckload. And when you get it, you got something. So don't worry, 'cause I'm coming. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Got what I got the hard way. And I make better each and every day.
Song of the day is Soul Man by the Blues Brothers. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Text your radio on Rick Heyman, Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
I'm a soul man. Play Steve. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Ha! Was brought up on a side street. Got out love. Before I could eat. I was educated from good stock. But I started loving. I just can't stop. I'm a soul man.
All right, once again, your Song of the Day, Soul Man by the Blues Brothers. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Text your rating on Rick Heyman's Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
Interesting. It's always safe to go back into the 70s.
Always.
That's a safe place on this show. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we today?
How are you today?
I'm feeling vile.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
You got to give your rating.
Vile. Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, Jake. How was that concert last night?
I
you gotten
did-
over it yet?
I didn't go, but I think the whole city's still under a plume of smoke this morning. It was
Didn't
foggy.
see that outside.
Yeah, I
Rick
think that was Snoop Dogg stuff from last night.
Rick Heyman's feeling vile.
He's feeling vile.
I love that. Let's see here. Safe 70s choice. Heard it a zillion times. Always, Rick, I would just say I've always kind of liked it. Like I'll give that a solid 7.5.
Yeah.
Is it 1975? Do you think that's about when that came
Well,
out?
he'll tell us in a second.
Okay.
I'd go 7 flat, a little bit lower than you. It's a good song. Not a great one. It's a good song. It's a good song.
A happy song.
It's a happy song. Gus, but Gus is probably like a
Gus.
Gus is probably a 4.
Hard to read Gus. He's got a good poker face. Our 19-year-old EP.
That's right.
Hard to read him.
I'm going 4.
I'm hitting it right down the middle of the fairway with a 5 iron. 5.
5. 7.5. I like it. Sounds good.
Okay, now, Gus, I want you to be a little more creative with your comments.
Yeah.
You're new, so we're giving you. Well, I want you have a very creative way about you, so express yourself on the Crease Sports side.
So 7.5 for you and Gus, and a 7 for me. Rick, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Gus.
Good song today.
Hey, good ratings from the kids. I like that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you for calling me a kid. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you too, Sip.
All right. Give us the spiel.
Okay, Blues Brothers. We all, well, not all of us, but most of us old farts remember this. 1978.
Oh, 8. Okay.
These guys formed this as a sketch, as many great movies started out from Saturday Night Live back when it was a real funny show. They just were messing around, and they decided to try this song as a part of a sketch, and they did, and it ended up becoming something much larger. Obviously, they actually, you remember when he was Belushi was the Killer Bee? He had this bee outfit on. That was when they started playing some blues songs on the show, and the name of the song that they were singing was "I'm a King Bee." That's where they started with this, and they put on these outfits and decided to try to do some blues stuff. So it was really fun. They all hung out after the show at a bar that Aykroyd owned, pretty close to Rockefeller Center down there.
Okay.
30 Rock or whatever it is. Yeah, 30 Rock. And they would play nothing but blues in that bar. So everybody hung out there every night, partied. And Belushi goes on to say later on that he was sick of rock and roll, and he became this huge blues guy. And, of course, this band that they put together was amazing. Those two guys were iffy at best, you know, Elwood and Jake, which is Aykroyd and Belushi.
Okay.
They weren't real talented.
Right.
But they put together a great shtick, and it became a movie, which to this day, if you haven't seen that movie, it's really good.
Is it really?
It really is. I recommend it highly.
Okay.
They actually wrote the entire movie in that bar. A bunch of them got together and wrote it. They called it the Tome because it was so huge. There were so many pages in the script because they kept coming up with all these great ideas, and they had to throw half of them out at the end. But that movie is already long, and it could have been a lot longer. So it's a fun song. It's a one-hit wonder. You know, we're still in that genre. The 70s, great stuff back in those days, as we all know. So with that in mind, I got to stump the Sippers.
All right, he's ready to roll.
Okay. Did this movie gross under or over $80 million?
Tough question.
Not really. It's over.
You're going over?
Of course.
You get a diamond. It was $140 million.
Yes, that was easy.
Okay, easy then.
Yeah.
What was the famous statement that they made in the movie that their mission was?
I will save all Cardinals.
All Cardinals.
Is that not right? Is that not right?
You get a CZ.
That's not right, apparently.
No,
Was I
we're on a
Was I
mission
close?
from God, remember?
Oh, yeah. So I wasn't. I thought I was close on that. I had to guess. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Cardinals. Did the original live album break the top 5?
Oh, no. Absolutely not, Rick. Nope.
You get another CZ. It was number 1, and it went double platinum, which means that more than 2 million copies were sold. I had that record, and we played that song in my band.
Did you?
Yes, sir.
What was the reaction of the people? Did they love it?
People loved it. They loved it.
Okay,
and what famous keyboard player formed the band? And you'll know this guy. He's a little bald-headed dude.
Oh, did he used to Paul Schaefer?
You get a diamond. It was Paul Schaefer.
How about that?
There you
Jake?
go, Sip.
Yeah,
there you go. You got 2
Hello.
of 4 today.
Hello.
That's pretty good. 50%.
Yeah. Okay, that was damning me with.
Well,
fake
it's
praise.
better than 0% or 25%. So good job. Take 2
That
of
was
4.
not genuine at all, but I appreciate it, I guess.
Well, okay. Rick, before I let you go, what's going on right now at Sartor Heyman Jewelers?
Hey, we want to thank everybody. We're number one again. I think this is 31 years in a row that we have been number one best jeweler in Lincoln.
Whoa, congrats.
Hey, thanks. We're kind of like the old Huskers, only better because we didn't have any of those slump years. Hey, Mother's Day is coming really soon, and we have some fantastic deals. Check out our website at sartorheyman.com. Get her something she's really going to love. And remember, check us out at sartorheyman.com, on Facebook at Sartor Heyman. Check me out at Rick Heyman on Facebook, and I'll post some more factoids about this band and this song later on.
All right, Rick, always great stuff. Thank you for the time. We will chat with you again next week.
Bye-bye.
There he goes. That's Rick Heyman of Sartor Heyman Jewelers. And the song of the day is Soul Man by the Blues Brothers. Up next, top of the hour, a full hour in studio with Mike Schaefer, 24/7 Sports. Get your questions in at 464-5685. Top of the hour next on Early Break on the Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Last thing before break, guys, I've been telling you for a long time about craft axe throwing and how it's a great time for all parties, big or small, and beginners or experts. It's a lot of fun on the 13 throwing lanes. They've got private events for groups of all sizes, and it provides a truly memorable afternoon or evening for everyone in your party. Craft Axe Throwing has a stock bar and multiple TVs to watch all the different games. To schedule your next corporate or social event, or for more information on their leagues and events, call them today at 402-802-9696. Again, that's Craft Axe Throwing at 18th and N in Lincoln.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Southeast Community College is training tomorrow's workforce today with our nearly 60 career and technical programs. We are doing our part to help employers fill vacancies during this current labor shortage, graduating students with skill sets employers are seeking. We're also helping to upskill the workforce by adding short-term credentials like certificates in many programs so that employees can get retraining quickly. Learn more about upskilling with SCC at southeast.edu/academics. SCC, your path to possible.
Another packed spring sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Stop by for great deals as April's beers of the month are Deschutes Fresh Squeeze IPA, Wild Onion Ubi Goober Hazy Peach IPA, and Belching Beaver Brewing. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch crawler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
Allo knows businesses need reliable communication, both at the office and at home. Now more than ever. Just listen to Bill Mitchner from Lighthouse.
Before we'd have breaks in service, especially for internet, but we've never had any issues with Allo. It's always been there and available when we needed it.
At Allo, supporting your business is our business. To get your free quote and switch today, visit allofiber.com/workfast or call 402-480-6685 today.
Bagels and Joe is ready for the spring with pesto cream cheese, great on any bagel. Try a mint and peach Arnold Palmer while you're there, and don't forget their locally roasted coffee, delicious breakfast burritos, and bagel boxes for the office. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
From selling a home to even building one, you're doing a lot and need a lender who can help you do it. Like Lisa Workman of Security First Bank.
Mortgage lending is my true passion. As a director of mortgage lending, I work to ensure you receive exceptional customer service.
Mortgage lending from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 505011 and 616196.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal-Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Thursday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break. Fun show so far. You got the podcast at theticketfm.com. Show is sponsored by Gaina Trucking, and we will have Mike Schaefer here shortly from 24/7 Sports, talking all things Nebraska recruiting and more.
Quick shout out to our coffee.
As you hold up their competitor to the thing. Yeah, Sip has a McDonald's cup, but he has Bagels and Joe coffee in there. Now, the reason why it's in that cup is because we have a rule that if you're going to have anything on the surface,
cover it.
It's got to be covered, and you don't have a covered mug for some reason. Although we had a mug for you from Bagels and Joe, you lost it.
No, my wife.
Oh, she stole it?
No, she
it's
uses it.
At least it's being used by somebody then. Yes, the coffee is wonderful. Thank you to Bagels and Joe, as always, for giving us. We have Snickerdoodle coffee.
Snickerdoodle
it's very
is
good.
Fabulous.
Very good.
It really smells good.
And tastes good.
And helps my mood.
Does it?
Yeah, the smell alone does. Very good.
That's good.
Yes.
Again, Schaefer will be here shortly. You can, if you want to get.
How would you like to fill the time?
If you want to get questions in before he's here, that we can line them up for you, please text us on the Sauter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Yeah, I just think that again,
go ahead.
There's a couple things that we mentioned in the first hour that are still the news of yesterday, which is, again, just to recap if you missed any of it. Casey Rogers in the portal for Nebraska, and we'll ask Schaefer about that in a second when he gets here. Jay Wright, again, stepping down at Villanova as the head coach there. I'm curious if you hear more coaches step down. I mean, again, like we said, he has 10 good years left in him of coaching.
Yeah, 60 years old.
A guy that was
Maybe
showing.
he doesn't have 10 good years left. But anyway, I see what you're saying. Seems like it.
His last 6 years of coaching have been remarkable.
Yes,
2
they have.
championships, a Final Four appearance this year. Like, he's not slowing down.
Now, there's a part of me that believes we are glossing over this story a little bit. Wouldn't you call Villanova? Now, this is all due respect to the national champions from Kansas. Villanova has been the premier program of the last decade.
The premier program?
I am saying the premier program. 2 national championships, 2016 and 2018. That falls in the in the decade.
2 titles, absolutely.
2 titles. At least two other Final Four appearances.
Okay.
One for sure. Well, okay. Now, what are we talking about here, Jake? 2 national titles and a Final Four appearance in the decade, and you're saying, I don't know.
It's pretty. I just never. It just never was a thought to me before right now that I guess the program of the last decade in
Villanova
was Villanova.
Villanova.
Interesting.
The man
You
is
might be
walking
right.
away from, I believe, I don't know, Mike Schaefer might disagree. He's walking away from what has been the premier program in college basketball the last 10 years.
Talking about the best coach in college basketball
No.
that just retired yesterday.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, well, I think he built the premier program of the last decade.
Yeah,
2 national titles.
They're certainly on a very short list. I don't even know. Like, I guess North Carolina's been
Gonzaga.
Yep, Gonzaga's played in 2 national titles, but haven't won any. I honestly
He's won
think
2.
I think that Jay Wright, prior to yesterday's retirement, was the best coach in college basketball. I don't know that you would get a ton of pushback on that.
I don't think so. No, you wouldn't.
Obviously, Bill Self really good, and then Mark Few really good, Scott Drew really good, Tom Izzo really good, but no one has been at the level that Jay Wright has
in the last decade.
So I would have to say that I agree with this generalist. And in no short part because I walked in already thinking that Jay Wright was the best coach in basketball.
They have won 7.
Certainly the best dressed.
Jacob.
Oh, absolutely.
Jacob.
Yes.
They have won 7 of the last 9 Big East regular season titles.
This is where Jake's going to tell you the Big East isn't very good.
No. The Big East is good.
That's good.
I'm not pushing back.
7 of 9. Now think about that.
I just, again,
they're a perennial top 10 team.
I had not thought about who was the team of the decade. And you're probably right. It's Villanova.
If they hadn't lost their second leading scorer, I would be very curious. In that game against Houston, they were putting that away to win the regional there. I'd have been curious if they win the region. I'd have been curious how they would have done in the Final Four at full strength, because that was they were playing very good basketball.
Yep. You're right
in that tournament, and then that was a pretty big blow.
Yeah, the injury really hurt. Let's see here. How many Final Fours this decade?
He's got 2 titles, and he lost to Kansas in the Final Four this year.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just 3.
Just
3. Just 3. Yeah, just 3 out of 10.
3.
Not bad. 3 for 10 in Final Four appearances.
Yeah, which is more than Duke, I believe, in the same stretch.
Absolutely.
It should be more than Kansas in the same stretch. I'm trying to think of who else would be. It's probably less than North Carolina. It's more than Gonzaga, because when they've made Final Fours, they've made the championship game and they've lost
twice.
Yep.
Don't overthink it. This is the premier program.
Really nobody else.
This is it.
I mean, there's guys on the periphery. Like you could sell me that Tony Bennett at Virginia is like top 8, but he's still behind Bill Self. Right. He's still behind Mark Few, even though Tony Bennett's won one. Mark Few's consistency at Gonzaga puts him up there for me.
I hope this is a big story national. I hope it is.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of thought it was widely viewed that he was the best coach in college basketball at this point. But
okay, no, I'm with you on that.
It's hard to push back on that, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know if nationally.
Now, if someone's like, well, I don't know if I'd take so and so over him, but I can't imagine someone would be like, no, he's not my top 4. I agree with that. Imagine that.
I don't know if nationally it garnered as much attention as Casey
Probably
Rogers.
Because Villanova doesn't. Yeah. Certainly took over.
That was worldwide.
I was not prepared for you to slip that in there the way that you did. Well done.
He kind of stole Jay Wright's thunder yesterday.
Yeah, he did. How dare he?
Yeah.
We'll switch to that. Casey Rogers yesterday announces he's going into the transfer portal. We all know Nebraska is lacking depth on the defensive line. He did not play this spring because of an injury suffered against Iowa, the last play of the game. But this is somebody that was going to start next season, barring some unforeseen circumstance of him now leaving.
His kneecap popped out of place.
On a kneel down. Probably just one of the most ridiculously bad luck things I could think of.
Think about it. Think
for a
about
guy
that.
who fought incredibly hard to get to the point where he could even be on the field for that kneel down, for that to happen.
Parker tells a good story about how, so the kneel down, he got up out of his stance, knee popped out, walking off the field. He saw the team doctor and said, I'll see you next week.
Oh, boy. That sucks.
Football.
Yeah, to end on a kneel down.
Yeah.
So, okay, Casey Rogers, though, in the portal, we know it's a position that's lacking depth. What was your initial response to that news yesterday, and what's it now?
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm shocking anyone when I say this, but that was not one of the guys I was expecting would be entering the portal after the spring. So I was fairly surprised. Subsequent digging has largely just revealed that there was some just general unhappiness, not necessarily with what his role was going to be, but just here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't know if that's just angst of a 22-year-old kid. But he is walking away from what would have been a good playing time opportunity. And I think he knows that. So that tells you that it goes a little bit deeper than just the coach doesn't like me and I'm not going to play kind of thing. So beyond that, I don't have a whole lot more of the why. I'm more just wondering what Nebraska does next, because that's a spot where, I mean, if you would have been like, Mike, there's a defensive lineman that's going into the portal on Wednesday at 3:30. I'd have given you a couple other names, maybe. And so now, now I wonder, is Casey Rogers the last at that position? I wouldn't put a lot of money on no, I'll tell you that much. So, Nebraska's really in a pickle with their defensive line. I mean, I think that they obviously really like Nash Hutmacher, and Ty Robinson's sort of your go-to guy there, but you have to be able to rotate off of that. We're talking about Colton Feist as their third defensive lineman up at this point in time. And then you're getting into Mosai Newsome and Ruquan Buckley, Jalen Weaver, Marquise Black.
That's the guys.
That's the end of it.
And it's interesting.
As we haven't seen play.
Rogers' numbers haven't been great.
I think there's two different reactions here. There's, he didn't do anything after 2020 because he was hurt for most of last year. And then there's, even if he didn't contribute a lot, it still feels like a bigger loss than, say, Jordan Riley, because when he had been on the field, it felt like he felt like someone that was at least going to be helping you out.
For sure. I thought, the stats do not back this take up, so I'm prepared to get jumped here. But I thought he was arguably their best defensive lineman.
At times in 2020.
At times.
Yeah. He was very active.
You could make that case with the current roster, because I don't know that Ty Robinson has stats that blow anything away. But what Ty Robinson has done for roughly 2 seasons or 1.5 seasons is he's been available. And at some point, like Ben Stilley represented this really, really well. Sometimes having the guy who's just always there that you can write his name in ink and you're not worried that he's going to get hurt or that he's going to have a nagging injury or that
he's going to leave.
He's going to just walk off walk out of the whole thing.
Right. God, that's valuable.
I don't know that people always appreciate just the consistency of a guy like Ben Stilley when you don't always know, A, what you have talent-wise behind that, and B, that you're going to get the same guy that's going to be as consistent. Ty Robinson is that guy. I mean, you get what you get with Ty Robinson. I don't know that there's going to be first team all Big Ten upside. Like he's a good player. I don't know that he's ever going to be fantastic. Beyond that, you could argue Casey Rogers against literally every other defensive lineman because he's actually played more than they have.
To be fair, to the world, Stilley, there's a lot of guys on that roster that are very reliable that fall under the Stilley category.
That was all of those guys that came back.
Right.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
JoJo Doman, reliable. Ben Stilley, reliable. Yeah. Talk to Travis
Austin
Fisher
Allen.
About replacing those 2 safeties.
Right. They could have.
They lost, part of replacing 2021, even though they went 3-9, the guys you lost were ones that you could count on.
Yeah, they could.
Guys you brought back that you're excited about.
Yeah. It's another interesting way to look at this. Unfortunately, Nebraska doesn't really have a player that would jump into the portal right now that would be a big story nationally. There's just nobody. I mean,
I was actually thinking
there's not. Unfortunately,
they don't have a face of their program anymore.
Not
with
really.
Adrian Gone.
no.
Yeah,
You can't
It
say
reverts back to being Scott Frost, which is unfortunately not who you want to be the face of your program.
What's the closest thing as a player right now to the face of the program for Nebraska?
I don't think they have one.
Is there anybody close to that though?
Well,
who's in the realm of
would
the
it be
conversation?
Reimer Henrik?
Yeah,
Luke Reimer.
I guess Luke Reimer.
Would it be Vokalek?
No.
Okay. Would it be? All right, I'm gonna stay on offense right now.
Is Luke Reimer is the closest thing to the face of the program right now?
Well, I was gonna say Reimer.
This is where you do the simple thing. And if you were to just ask a truck driver coming out of Albuquerque who the face of Nebraska football is, they got nothing.
They
But
have
now
no
to
idea.
be fair to the trucker, you like if I could name a lot of programs that like who's the face of the West Virginia program, who's the face of Texas Tech, who's
Yeah,
the
that's
face.
fair. But that also tells you where Nebraska football's
Right.
at.
Well, now I could go further though. Who's the face of Florida? The trucker. Now you're the trucker.
Get the trucker hat on.
I can't.
Whoever their new.
I can't say who the
quarterback
face of Florida State
Yeah, that's
is.
fair.
Yeah, I can't say who the face of. I don't know. Well, I can say. who the-
Okay, but in terms of the Big Ten though, for us, we can say
You
that
do
for
it for most
Braylon
of your
Allen's the face of Wisconsin right
Okay,
now.
State is who is Spencer Petras the face of Iowa? Just saying.
It would be Tyler Goodson, isn't it? Isn't he still there?
He's
Or did he-
gone.
oh,
He's gone.
Is he
Goodson's
So, yeah.
gone. Yeah.
They lost Linderbaum, the star
Right.
center.
I
is
don't
gone.
know. I can't say Iowa.
So maybe that one we don't know at this point.
Northwestern, your team. Who's the face
They
of
don't
your
have
Northwestern
they don't have a face
Wildcats?
because they're not very good.
You could say Purdue probably. Would you say Aiden
Aiden
O'Connell?
O'Connell is the face because
Yeah.
David Bell's gone.
Right.
Aiden O'Connell is the face of Purdue.
I'd say so.
Mo Ibrahim at Minnesota or
I'll give
Tanner
you that.
Morgan
Sure.
at Minnesota.
Yeah, one of those. But
Yeah.
that works.
Mhm.
CJ Stroud at Ohio State, Michigan.
Well, one of the court McNamara or
You could go slash there.
JJ. Yeah.
Penn State. Help me.
Who's
I don't honestly
is
know.
Clifford still there or is he gone now?
I don't honestly know.
I don't have one.
Anyway,
because
I get your
Donson's
point.
gone too.
I get my point too, but I get your point. It's tough for the trucker, any trucker, to do that for most programs, and certainly Nebraska.
I think it just speaks on a lot of levels. Nebraska doesn't have a ton of star power to begin with.
No, and what?
Kip says Sip is defending a hypothetical trucker. Yeah, thank you, Kip. Yes.
I'm just going back to one of the things that I've heard him do on other shows where he's like, now, if I was a trucker,
Or if I was driving through from Albuquerque and I didn't know anything about Nebraska,
Right.
honey, let's go.
and I specifically picked Albuquerque because I can't remember which show it was, but you used that one.
Better Call
And I
Saul.
spent a while wondering. And so that's what it comes
Yeah.
from. You just watched like Better Call Saul the
Yeah.
night before.
Why? Yeah.
Albuquerque.
It drives my wife crazy. I always like if there's a movie on, where's this set? What city is this? Where are they at right now? I just always want to know where it's at.
To be fair to the truckers.
I don't know that should drive her crazy.
Kind of does. Look it up. Get on Wiki. See.
Oh, so you're just demanding her to answer it. Okay, I get that now.
Yeah.
I can see where if you're just like stream of consciousness out loud,
No.
but you're looking it up.
Anyway, so yeah, back to Casey. I got to think he has a place in mind, right? Don't
based on what I heard, no.
It's interesting, Schaefer. Usually, don't we sort of isn't the prevailing sentiment now that if a guy goes in the portal, we figure he already knows where he's going?
Maybe, but when you're tweeting out who you're getting offers from,
That's true.
that
Arkansas.
tells me that you're more in collection reset mode than you are, and I've got a plan.
Could be.
So,
or it could be
like I said,
deception.
I
It
don't
could be
know a
deception.
ton, but I think from what I have heard, he's fairly open to being courted by other teams at the moment.
We don't know a ton because I don't think we'll hear from him. You generally, like O'Shawn Mathis, nobody interviews him because we can't. They won't talk. Guys that go into the portal, I hope people understand. It almost means they're off limits to interviews.
Well, it's just not a function because they've done it. I mean, for a lot of them, if you've been a recruit before, you did the whole interview thing, then you've been in college and you've been interviewed. And at some point, like, if you or I or Jake are in the midst of considering a career change, it's not like we're going to stop to talk to some magazine about it.
No. And I don't know that, I don't know if I don't know if they should be expected to explain why. We all want to know why.
None of them so one of the hard things about our job is that we always want people to talk to us. And there's always an expectation that they should talk to us. And save for very rare cases, i.e. the head coach who, sort of is the mouthpiece in a lot of ways of what the program is. I've always kind of regarded as we're fortunate when they do talk to us.
Yes.
And if you have that mindset, I think it's somewhat helpful than the demanding of they have to talk to us. Because there's some guys that once they get here, I mean, Joshua Kalu is a good example. He just stopped doing interviews.
He did.
He didn't see any value in it for him.
Well, I think
it wasn't that he was a bad guy. He was very nice, very polite. And he'd always basically be like, yeah, I'm just not interested in doing this.
One of Josh's hangups was he didn't like being us calling him Josh. He was Joshua.
Full
yeah.
name.
Yeah, he wanted to be called Joshua.
You just did it right there.
I know.
I said Joshua Kalu, and you went right back to Josh.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't have.
It's fine.
He hasn't learned. He hasn't learned.
So I'm not suggesting in any way that he owes us an explanation, but I would really like to know why. It would be very interesting to hear his. But why would he lay that out? Why would he lay that out? There's no reason to, right?
Yeah.
Is there any reason to?
No, he doesn't have to say why he's leaving.
Yeah.
Well, certainly not before you go somewhere.
No.
So now the question becomes for Nebraska. Okay, Rogers is gone. O'Shawn Mathis is certainly a guy that
they don't really have anything to do with each other. Like
I know, but
I
want to
explain that as much as possible. Like there's this idea that getting O'Shawn Mathis, who plays an entirely different position, like where Nebraska is most fragile, is not the pass rushing situation.
Well,
they want to get better there.
If they
it allows you to
run.
If they're playing a 3-4, O'Shawn Mathis could theoretically cut into Casey Rogers' time
as a 3-4 defensive end.
Yeah, because he's 6'6", 260. We're not talking about Caleb Tanner when we're talking about O'Shawn Mathis.
Yeah, I mean, I sized him up before on the field, like not in pads. That doesn't look like a 3-4 defensive end. He doesn't look like.
So I don't know if they're taking him off the field or not in that situation. Now I don't know how much they're going to even be in a 3-4. So
that's part of it is that it doesn't feel like they're
right.
It feels like they're using their depth of edge rushers as outside linebackers to then kind of play defensive end for him in a lot of.
See, my take on it is any loss on defense, I don't care who the player is on defense right now, increases O'Shawn Mathis's leverage. If they lost Braxton Clark, it increases O'Shawn Mathis's leverage because you need good players.
I almost feel we're at the point where O'Shawn Mathis's leverage is infinite.
Yeah,
So it doesn't. I guess
too.
I sort of view it independently because losing an interior defensive lineman, which is what I view Casey Rogers for.
I don't view O'Shawn Mathis as an interior lineman.
For the upcoming season, they needed O'Shawn Mathis whether he was here or not.
But I think his value escalates with any starter that leaves. Forget the position discussion and the nuances and all that.
Then we get into the sort of sticky conversation of what does that mean to the guys that are already on the roster.
I don't know.
And then
sticky
potentially are those guys on the roster like, well, if you're so valuable, if that guy's so valuable because he's coming from somewhere, what if I'm going somewhere?
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
It's all a conversation.
It is.
And all of it, there's examples of that, to be found going around. So I'm not trying to say that that's Casey Rogers.
It's hard to know that, right?
Well, he would have to outwardly come out and say that. Like
it's an interesting one because he was a starter. He had a lot here. And you wonder what he's seeking elsewhere. It could be a variety of things. It could be a million different things.
And it's an interesting one because he was going to play if healthy. He was,
start.
So he has to go find a spot where he's going to be valued as much. And frankly, coming off of a year where you barely played in the spring, where you didn't practice at all, you got to get someone that's going to bet heavily on you being the 2020 version of yourself.
Goes back to, you just wonder.
Which, as good as he was in 2020, he was still a rotational player. It wasn't like he was a guy out there taking 60 snaps.
It's really strange.
Like there's a perceived value of Casey Rogers that might be higher than what he actually was too. True. It's just that for Nebraska, the value is really high because they don't have that many bodies. We wouldn't be having this conversation in the same with the same context if Damian Daniels had never gone into the NFL
or DeAndre Thomas was back.
Yeah.
Which maybe you can get him back. By the way, Casey Rogers graduates in May.
Yep.
Okay, maybe he just wanted to. Okay, I'm going to get my degree. I want to go somewhere else. I want to see the. I want to see.
I think that's as close to what we can sort of pull out of the air. That's probably in line with the situation.
Yeah. Now
he's been here since 2018.
Right. Now he's got to tell his guys, and I was telling Jake, I think guys anymore just we live in a different kind of world, and they're just say, okay, brother, go get yours, and that's you just sort of leave it at that, and talk about whether you would like a cardinal to fly into your garage or a blue jay, which I wonder sometimes there's either.
Why do I want a bird in my garage?
Well, if you could pick.
I don't want birds.
I don't want the bird in the garage.
But if you could pick a bird, I would say a cardinal.
A dead bird, and I pick it up and I put it out. I don't like birds at all.
In your garage?
I want a bird in my garage.
Well, I think if the conversation starts to get a little uncomfortable, I do what my mom does. I just start talking about what kind of clouds do you prefer?
Nimbus.
Yeah, they're wispy kind.
Cumulus.
Not a big cumulus guy.
All right.
I
prefer
before I get to break. The hour is sponsored by Trek CBD at 84th and Highway 2. I
That
imagine
conversation was sponsored by Trek.
Yeah, it was.
Take a little of that syrup and you can get to talking about, well, maybe a canary.
A canary.
Get a nice little canary in there.
Yeah,
What about a hummingbird?
A
Wouldn't that be
hummingbird.
fun?
Interesting. Yes, a hummingbird would be good in your garage.
Just no woodpeckers. Too much damage.
It startles you when there's a bird in your garage. doesn't it?
Woodpeckers are super annoying, by the way.
Yes.
At the old house, there was a standing power line, and for like 2 summers in a row, this woodpecker.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And it was like mid-morning, and I'd be like trying to work, and I'd have the door shut and everything. I started throwing dirt clods at it. I was so mad.
Whoa! Don't say that on the radio.
You threw dirt clod
out
at
there.
the woodpecker.
Don't worry, it never got touched. The dirt clod doesn't travel far enough to get there.
So you were throwing dirt clod.
It would just like sadly hit the fence in front of it, and it wouldn't
dirt
stop.
clods
It
at
would just
birds.
be hammering away. This is the worst.
That is the sort of sound I'm
So
surprised.
yeah, go
it
to
was
Trek
just-
CBD.
Yeah, great spot. 84th and Highway 2 has all your needs.
I'm surprised that sound would distract you. It's
Oh,
it's a constant though.
It's horrible.
Hmm.
It's way louder than you think.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Dirt clods.
It did not work.
More next with Mike Schaefer on early break on the ticket.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SEC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast today, some dense fog this morning will give way to partly sunny skies this afternoon. We'll see a high near 74. Tonight, showers are likely, and we'll see a low around 57. Tomorrow, we could see a chance for some spotty showers and storms. We'll see a high near 85. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Storage Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 Highway 6 in Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction on June 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
Bagels and Joe is ready for the spring with pesto cream cheese, great on any bagel. Try a mint and peach Arnold Palmer while you're there, and don't forget their locally roasted coffee, delicious breakfast burritos, and bagel boxes for the office. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Spring has arrived. Dust off your clubs and play the city. Lincoln City Golf Courses offer 5 different places to play, including Homes, Pioneers, Highlands, Mahoney, and the par 3 Jim Ager course. Plus, one membership gets you access to all 5 courses, or ask about a discount card that gets you 15% off all rounds. There's also adult classes with lessons for every level with Lincoln City Golf Academy. Learn more about membership and classes today at lincolncitygolf.org.
Alanos businesses need reliable communication, both at the office and at home. Now more than ever. Just listen to Bill Mitchner from Lighthouse.
Before we'd have breaks in service, especially for internet, but we've never had any issues with Allo. It's always been there and available when we needed it.
At Allo, supporting your business is our business. To get your free quote and switch today, visit allofiber.com/workfast or call 402-480-6685 today.
This
Anybody who knows me knows I was cocky out of the womb.
is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you have any questions for Mike Schaefer, again, please call or text 402-464-5685 this hour, sponsored by Trek CBD at 84th and Highway 2. Nebraska offers Lincoln High wide receiver Benny Ngoyi this week. They were the 12th team, though, to offer him. Would you stop? What do we know about him, and what took Nebraska so long to get
Can I interject real fast before
absolutely.
Mike? Why, Jake, why do we do this?
Just asking a question. I'm just asking
because Nebraska needs to be the first team to offer all of the best.
Do we really analyze when teams offer now?
Some do. There's other decent schools that were ahead of them on that one.
Who cares?
I'd like to know more about Benny Ngoyi from Schaefer.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Benny is a really athletic guy. I mean, he's got a 42-inch vertical on record. You can watch the video.
He has a 42-inch vertical.
That's what they measured out on it. I mean, I don't know that it is a verified one, but at worst it's like 39.5 inches. So it's still
elite,
high level NFL combine vertical.
Yeah, elite.
Combined with a guy who runs pretty well and is 6'4". So I mean, he's got good size, great athleticism. I don't know that it's guaranteed that he's a wide receiver. He could grow into being a defensive back or, kind of a hybrid second, third level player. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. So he's a really, really good athlete. He plays on the same 7-on-7 team as both Davon Hall and Malachi Coleman.
Okay.
So there's relationships there that are important to Nebraska, I think, too. And he's just a good, solid player. He's on a Lincoln High team that isn't particularly good. He was one of the bright spots for him last year with like 467 yards, and he had like 6 touchdowns or something. So he's a very, very solid player. We started noticing, I would say last year during his season, Kansas State started getting involved with him a little bit. Minnesota was talking with him. And so you could tell that he was going to end up being a Power 5 guy. So then it became like a question of, and this is pre-Mickey Joseph, does Nebraska feel compelled to offer? Because they did with Malachi Coleman at the end of September, and they were and to Jake's credit, I know this, they were the first school.
Whoa.
Northern Iowa and Joe Gans had offered in the summer, but Nebraska was the first FBS school to offer Malachi Coleman. So then it became a wonder of, are they going to do the same with Benny? That didn't happen, but he kept coming to games. He was at a junior day. You keep wondering. It kind of like Brock, Knudsen here. He got his offer after the spring game or around spring game weekend. You just kind of wonder, like, is there a reason for this or not? And some of it, I think, is Mickey Joseph needed to figure out what his board looked at wide receiver. They needed to figure out what, Benny could play if it wasn't at wide receiver. And so I think all of those things kind of came together that led to him getting that offer on Monday morning. And
there you go.
Mickey Joseph stopped by Lincoln High as one of his first stops. He hit Lincoln High, he hit Lincoln East, he hit Omaha West Side, he hit Bellevue West, he hit a couple other schools. I mean, they really did some damage in state on Monday. Mike Dawson was over at Elkhorn South talking to the coaches of Maverick Noonan. So I think it kind of came together where it's like they felt like it was time to offer. He doesn't feel slighted by it at all. I mean, he did say that it felt like a relief.
Jake does feel slighted for some reason.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. I've never had an in-state player say that, upon the news that they had gotten the offer, they were relieved. Because he just felt like it was almost a mark against him that Nebraska hadn't offered yet. I kind of wonder if Zane Flores feels the same way. But he got that offer, and he's going to take visits, I think, to UCLA and Minnesota, and he's trying to set something up with Nebraska as well. He's looking at a summer decision.
He was on Nicole's show.
He was on Monday,
and it was quite a day for him. I mean, it is nice to hear a kid talk about how impactful that is on him. They pulled him out of class, and informed him what was happening, and then it was a major day for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love to hear it. It was interesting.
There is something like in the job that I have, it's easy to get cynical.
Yes.
We've talked about.
Right.
There is something about getting to talk to a kid, whether it was Brock after, when I talked on the phone with him or with Benny or Malachi when that happened. The moment when these guys get that offer, and if you have any kind of prior relationship and you've had that conversation about, what would this mean for you and that kind of thing, and then you get to talk to them after they get that offer, and that just like, it doesn't seem like much because it's not physically anything you can hold. It is a verbal offer.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee on August 1 you're getting the written one, but it is a verbal offer.
Right.
And the weight that carries for a young person is insane. And their reaction to it is always joy. And it's one of the best parts of my job.
Yeah, it was neat hearing him talk about it. Like he gets pulled out of class. I mean, I don't think that happens to many people. Like, not to us.
Well, just think like if you
get in trouble for something.
And it's not
that's you.
If you grow up in any sort of situation where Nebraska football is big in your life or in your family's life, and then there's an opportunity to potentially be a part of that. Like it's just it's hard to explain if you don't grow up like, and I wasn't an athlete. There was no any chance that I was ever going to be offered by Nebraska for anything. But growing up in the life that I had, like Nebraska was the center of the sports universe.
Now, why did Jake, don't take this wrong, and Mike can help in this discussion. When you ask that question, like what took them so long to offer, there's a lot of variables in that discussion. You don't know who's on their board. It's possible. There's an evaluation that goes on.
I didn't say it in that tone. I asked a simple question. What took him so long?
But inherent in that question is criticism. Right?
You could read it that way.
Yeah.
Well, it is criticism in the sense that it should be obvious to everyone that Benny should have an offer. And I don't know that that's always true.
Right. And you don't know who's on their board. They might have guys slotted ahead of them. I mean, right?
And that's part of it.
That's evaluation. Do you understand?
I got it.
Okay.
Do you want to when other Big Ten schools are coming in to talk to them and Big 12? Then
did you base your evaluation on other schools offers?
Some schools do. Yeah. I mean, there was a great run of time where Arizona State would offer every kid that Nebraska offered. It was almost a guarantee.
What would you prefer, Jay? A Cardinal or a Blue Jay in your garage?
I don't want to talk about the birds. No birds in the garage. Another name that people are aware of, Bobby Newcomb's son, Jeremiah Newcomb, 2024 cornerback, gets an offer from Nebraska. Do you know how good of a player are we talking about in Jeremiah?
I don't know a whole lot about him, so I can't wax poetically on this, but it was there's a part of me that found a large amount of humor in the idea that this offer came right at the time that the Dylan Raiola has committed to Ohio State, but they're not talking about it publicly. Rumor was raging at its apex, and that Nebraska went out and offered another, notable former player's son. I don't think that the two are connected at all.
Probably not.
For any reason. But I just found that sort of darkly funny on, what was that, Tuesday night?
Yeah, so that the rumor is Dylan has silently committed to Ohio State.
Yeah. Just raging around the internet.
So the idea is that Ohio...
Attributed to nothing, seemingly, but it's out there, and it's wildfire, baby.
So the Ohio, I mean, from what I understand, Ohio State would then not recruit a quarterback for 2023.
Well, there's also talk, and it doesn't sound like this is going to happen, but there was some wondering if Raiola would reclassify to 2023 because he's moving to from Texas to Arizona, and the standards of graduating in Arizona are lower, so potentially could reclassify. But Bill Karelic, who covers Ohio State for 24/7 Sports, has an update on this and basically said that's not what the Raiolas plan to do.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I've never heard that broached as a
now,
possibility.
If that's part of the whole thing, that might explain why Dylan would feel it necessary to commit this early if Ohio State's saying we're not going to take a quarterback in front of you.
Right.
But I don't know that to be true.
Right. I don't know it for
that,
sure, but
that could certainly be part of it. I was more or less making a wisecrack on and look, he might have silently committed. I don't know, but the amount of silent commitments that I know of Nebraska having that didn't end in signatures is pretty substantial. So, and some of it contributes right to that defensive line deficiency on top.
Yikes.
Yikes.
You know what time it is?
It is time to play the game show. Give us a call right now at 464-5685. A chance to win a business box of bagels. Two bagels and Joe Sip is 0-3 on the week. Schaefer needs a win. Hasn't got a win yet. He's had some close calls, but hasn't got that W
Bagel
yet.
Boy
So
territory.
It is Bagel Boy territory.
But we don't do that anymore.
Well, people are always welcome to drive around Lincoln if they see you out and about, specifically downtown. Roll down their windows and say, "Hey, Bagel Boy!"
Just like
they're
that.
always welcome.
Just like that.
It's horrifying, Schaefer. Every time you do it, it's horrifying.
Bagel Boy!
The pause and the build-up was incredible. Okay, today's
That is
topic.
the very definition of obnoxious.
Well, that's what you deserve for going 0-5 if that's the case. Today's topic is Throwback Thursday. NFL Draft is next week. Now, we talk too often about the number one overall picks in draft.
Oh, God.
And not enough about number two.
All right.
These are number two overall draft. I'm going to tell you what school they came from, the year, and what team drafted them. What is the person's name?
And we go last name, too. Just last name's sufficient.
I think that's fine. Okay. I would prefer the full name, but it's fine.
Okay.
You're in charge of the
I am.
answers.
464-5685. Shut up, Sipple starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
He is trying to snap a winless week. He's trying to get that first win. 0-3. Schaefer, I feel like you probably feel good about this topic.
Reasonably.
Again,
Reasonably.
we don't
I used to be a young Mel Kiper Jr.
I know. Todd McShay, Mel Kiper. Again, we don't talk enough about number two picks. So today we give the number two picks their glory.
I like that. I think it's a good idea.
Thank you. It's still pretty dang good, number two. Phil, how do you feel about number two overall picks in the NFL draft?
Oh, with Schaefer there, not very good, but good enough to play Blue Jay Bagel Boy.
Oh,
No.
Blue Jay. All right, well, let's do that. He chose Blue Jay, not Cardinal. Blue Jay
okay.
for Phil. All right, Phil, first question goes to you. What defensive end from North Carolina did the Panthers take number two overall in 2002? This is for you, Phil.
Who took him?
The Panthers.
Julius Peppers.
Julius Peppers is correct.
Good job,
I
Phil.
thought that you'd be on that for some
Nope.
reason.
Wasn't on it.
Twice an all-decade player.
Yeah,
Julius
very,
Peppers
very good defensively.
in the NFL.
I'm
Played
aware of him.
basketball at North Carolina too.
Okay, all right, let's lock in.
All right, Sip. Schaefer's in play here, so use him wisely. One time for the tie, you're down 1-0. First question. What linebacker from Penn State did the then Redskins take number 2 overall in 2000?
Got it. LeVar Arrington.
Great.
LeVar Arrington is correct. and
I watched that man
still-
go back into his brain and find
You
it.
saw that. I saw it too. His
He
eyes-
must have saw the clip of LeVar Arrington beating up the punter, and he thought,
That's the guy. So Schaefer's still in play.
really good player.
All right.
Another really good player.
All right, Phil, for the lead, your last question. What running back from Auburn did the Dolphins take number 2 overall in 2005?
Oh, I cannot think. Was it Cadillac Williams?
Cadillac Williams.
Oh, that's a good guess,
I
Phil.
believe they were. I'm not going to say anything.
Phil, that's a really good guess. Because Jake was about to say, I believe they're in the same backfield.
I didn't say anything.
I
I paused.
I am going to suggest for strategy reasons that I sit this out because if we get your next one right, it's over.
Right.
Pass.
Okay. Smart. Good job, Schaefer. Ronnie Brown was the correct
Ronnie
answer.
Brown.
But
So I was going to pass anyways because I wasn't until Phil had said that. I wasn't sure which of the two.
I think they played
no,
together.
yeah, Phil,
Yeah, they
they were drafted in the same year in the top 10 because Ronnie went to, I think Cadillac Williams went to the Bucks at like 5 or 6.
That is almost a trick
That's
question.
amazing. Well, it wasn't a trick because Cadillac never played for the Dolphins.
Okay.
Yeah, I could not remember.
All right, Sip. Schaefer's in play. Use him here. You're tied 1-1 for the win. To end the winless week, what offensive tackle from USC did the Jaguars take number 2 overall in 1995?
Schaefer, how do you feel about this right now?
Pretty good. Can I confer with Sipple? Can I tell him the name I'm considering, or do
Yeah,
I
can
have
we
to?
do that?
Are we allowed to confer?
I
I don't
kinda
remember
think-
how this
I
works.
think that's in play.
No, I don't think we can do that.
Okay.
Let me think for a second.
Okay.
I got 3.
No, this-
The left tackle from USC.
yes.
This is a tough one. I'm going to use Schaefer.
We're gonna say Tony Baselli.
Is it Tony Pacelli to end the winless week?
Good job. Really good job on that.
Hey,
really
was
good
he
job.
one of the 3?
No, I didn't.
What was the other three?
I don't want to even go there. No, I'm not going to lie. I did
Phil,
not know
thank
that.
you for calling in. We'll get you a bag on the coffee, but call in down the road. Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, Phil. Thank you.
Who would like the trip? Who wants tiebreaker here?
How do you want to do this, Schaefer? You're our guest.
I'll set the number.
Okay.
All right, Schaefer. Ryan Leaf was drafted number 2 overall in 1998. How many career interceptions did he throw in his 3 NFL seasons?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
37.
Ooh, that's a good number. I mean, do you about hit it? I'm going to say just over. Just over.
36. So you were right in saying good number, but you went the wrong direction.
Dang it!
Number.
You want to guess his touchdowns? I got that
I'm
too.
going to say 42.
No, I think he went under. I don't even know if he hit 20. We're gonna say 17.
14. The man had 14 touchdowns and 36 interceptions in 3
This is
years.
pretty bad.
That's
career.
uncomfortable.
That's not good. That's not good at
That's
all.
uncomfortable.
Pretty bad. So congrats. You're off the schneid today. No Bagel Boy shirt or yelling.
I work
on the
against
street.
my own
You
wishes.
did. You did. What's wrong with you, Shane?
I think that's good strategy for us to remember, though. If we're tied going into the third question, we should always pass.
I was just going to say, I like the fact that Schaefer has brought strategy into the equation,
I think we should.
which I've never even considered.
He's got strategy.
I've just gone off the cuff
Well,
the
I
whole
think
time.
what happened was that one time we were in the same situation,
No, this happened
and I
several times.
stole
Yep.
on the third one, and then you unfortunately did not get the fourth one.
It
The
was
caller
stolen.
did, and then you lost in the tiebreak.
Absolutely. This happened.
So
This is not one time. This is many times.
I
that's
sort of
happened.
feel like we just need to get to the third. Pending on now, when we were doing
There's metrics involved in this.
There
now.
are metrics
Yeah.
involved.
When we were doing the year one and it was music, we didn't want to save me for the music almost, unless it was like 1998.
Mhm.
or
Yeah,
if
that's
there
your
was a
wheelhouse.
chance that the New Radicals were being played, then
You get what you give, baby. That's right. Classic, classic 90s.
I like the analysis,
Yeah.
which I've never
This is-
brought into this.
No, you just kind of just
Just
go on a
go
whim.
with it.
No
I can't
strategy
believe
at
a
all.
website doesn't exist that just breaks down all your stats over the years.
For 3 years, I didn't even know how to play the game.
The spillover's next. An early break on the ticket.
Bagels and Joe is ready for the spring with pesto cream cheese, great on any bagel. Try a mint and peach Arnold Palmer while you're there, and don't forget their locally roasted coffee, delicious breakfast burritos, and bagel boxes for the office. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Koppel talking about a new order for myself, and they let me know I can actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast today, some dense fog this morning will give way to partly sunny skies this afternoon. We'll see a high near 74. Tonight, showers are likely, and we'll see a low around 57. Tomorrow, we could see a chance for some spotty showers and storms. We'll see a high near 85. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clutton for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This.
Well, good morning, little brother.
Is Early Break with Sip and Jay. Brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman is in the house for the spillover, and he went to Snoop Dogg last night. Jay, we're glad to see you this morning. Thanks for showing up.
Right.
Yeah, good morning.
That's not a guarantee.
Good morning.
After a concert, your best ability is your availability in everything.
And you're available.
Sports, business, radio. You know, since I've been anointed this media head, so since and banished, but I got to make sure you go when my dad always told me when I started actually it was partying, and this is when I was in the got to the NFL. He was like, if you can hoot with the Owls at night, you better be able to soar with the Eagles in the morning. And I learned a lesson. Went out and tied one on with a couple of my friends after got drafted and stuff. He came in and we were just gone. 8:00 in the morning, making all noise, turn the TV on, and he was like, get up and go to the gym. So I've always, kind of tried to live by that. Some, but.
Oh, I hear you.
How
was Snoop?
He was great. His performance was great.
What song did you like
the most?
I love all. Of course, you got the one that put him on the map was Nothing But a G Thing, but Snoop's Upside Your Head is one of my favorite ones. You know what I mean?
What's the song called again?
Keep Their Heads Ringing and all that. But it's Snoop's Upside
That's
Your
a
Head.
good one. Yeah,
I like them all, man. He mixed in a little bit of he did stuff and paid homage to like Eazy-E, Biggie Smalls, Tupac.
Did he?
And Nate Dogg and stuff like that. So yeah, it was all, you could, obviously being for 50, he's not one of these big performers where he's going to be out there dancing. He kind of does his thing, and he has, a couple guys that are up there, hype men, and they kind of rap a little bit. Had some ladies of the night and had polls out there.
Oh,
from when he did his performance for Kansas.
Yeah.
So he teleported. He brought those with. That's probably in his travel package. Those are pretty sturdy polls, man. Just to put on stage, but it was good. It was
good rundown.
It was
good crowd.
It was a interesting crowd.
How so?
Yeah, explain that.
Well, because you had the opening act was which country?
Coetzel.
Which was
I'm not
obviously a lot of people were there. And then you had
a lot of people were there.
The variance of age to see Snoop from. Well, there's some kids that were. I saw a couple of elementary, school kids with their parents.
That's fine.
And so all the way up until you see some grandpas there.
Grandpa,
yeah. The best thing was I saw, and I won't name any names. I saw a couple moms that I think they're on the PTO or parent teacher, whatever it is, PTA or whatever you call it is. Yeah, they were
having a good time out there.
Oh, they were having more. They participated, and I saw a couple of them sea walking and stuff. I didn't know they had them in them. So next time I see them, they let loose. That's one thing about concerts. Everybody's there to have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Nice rundown.
So does Snoop Dogg, like in between his songs, does he talk to the crowd, or does he just kind of keep going?
Oh no, he talks to the crowd. He has. Look, he's an iconic performer. He knows how to hype the crowd up, bring them down, and what songs go with flow, and then he
I'm glad you.
Then he pitted Lincoln against Omaha, and he wanted to.
Did he?
In the sense of he was like, "Where am I at? Am I in Lincoln? Let me hear you." Nothing.
Yeah.
Bad, but he knows.
I like it.
He knows.
Sounds
what he's doing.
good. That sounds fun. And it was 12,500, so it was full.
Oh yeah, it was jam packed.
Jam packed. How about that?
Yes, Jake.
And it was an all night party, basically. For
yeah.
everybody.
Then he had a little after party. Then the after party. Got a couple. I originally. I was caught up in the moment of. I was probably caught up in some smoke. Texted DP. I was like, man, I don't know, man. It's 50-50. I'm battling right now whether I'm going to be here right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But then I said, you know what?
You don't look bad.
You look fine. You look fine.
This is a champion here. I said, you know what? I'm a 3-time national champion. Listen to Snoop. I got to man up.
You did. You manned up.
So I texted him at like 4:30 or 5 this morning. I said, I'll be there. He didn't return the text right away, but at least he knew once he woke up. He's like,
was that you going to sleep at 4:35 or waking up?
That was me winding down
the party.
Just got out of the shower, just kind of okay. So I had it down to where I could shower and then make it in here.
Nice. Thank you for being here.
You're a champion, man.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
That's what you got to do when you're
God bless you.
When you're a media head, right? Right? You got to be there. You got to answer the call.
You got a show. The show goes on.
Yeah, the show goes on, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And what's the dude? Wolf of Wall? The show goes on, right?
The show must go on.
Yeah.
Good. Whatever's happening.
Snoop Dogg songs over there.
No.
You don't like Snoop?
His whole time I don't like him. I've never listened to him. I'm just
Long Beach.
Yeah.
Long Beach.
Yeah, when he said Long Beach last night, I remember when you said, "Yeah, you've been to Long Beach." Yeah.
Well, I think of Long Beach. I think of Snoop. I'm not joking,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I'm not messing around on that.
You don't think? Of
Okay,
Jason
should we
J.
ask him? I mean, why am I doing this? Casey, were you aware of the Casey Rogers news?
Were
you in
when I was made aware of it, I was just starting the pregame for Snoop.
Okay.
Which was like 2 PM.
So you have not contemplated.
Which was like at like 4:35 or something like that.
So you've contemplated a different level than we have. Probably.
I thought about it. I mean, it's it's weird that like a starter. I just have never been able to wrap my mind around the starter getting in the transfer portal. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
try to go start somewhere else.
Right. You get what I mean? I mean, he's the injury bug got him last year, even all the way back from the spring. I think he had it. Then he got back healthy or was coming back. And then he, started to look really, like his old self, I think, from the Minnesota game on. And then he got hurt, like, I think one of the last plays against Iowa.
The last
kneel
play.
down. The kneel down.
The last
right?
play.
So, throughout his career, he's pretty active. If you look at, activity per amount of plays. And, he's a guy that I'm sure, that they were counting on in some form, even if you say
they were counting on.
Yeah, just say even if he wasn't going to be, I would envision that he was going to start, but say if he didn't start, he would have been in the rotation and played significant snaps. So, it's weird. These kids are emotional, and we talked about it a little bit. Now they're very, very sensitive. So, sometimes I wish these kids would, pump the brakes on this stuff. And how long have you really thought about it? Have you thought about long-term or short-term? Because you're going to go somewhere and start over. Yes, it's great if they're whoever you're going to or talking to you, but until you get there, you still got to play. Like all this stuff is like fine. And like whether it's O'Shawn Mathis, whether it's this situation or whoever else they're going to all that stuff is all fine and dandy, right? As we're, people are writing articles or tweeting about it and people are conversating about it. But at the end of the day, you got to get on the field and play. You get what I'm saying? And he knows the law, the lay of the land here. And he's been productive here. If you have aspirations going to the next level or anything like this, you're pretty much set up here to do it. So that's interesting. I don't even know if you call it interesting. It's very, I guess, mind-boggling, like why it would happen. So then you kind of like always ask why. Because
it's possible he's not interested in.
Yeah, maybe so.
That starting is not a big deal to him. That he wants to go to school somewhere else and participate, but he doesn't need to have the starter tag. It's there's a million different
you just
reasons.
never know.
Right,
I mean, it's. But at the end of the day, it's not. It's another chunk into the puzzle that you got to try to plug.
I don't think there's this is where you guys can educate me. How many places could he go where they're telling him you're a starter? How many situations like that exist?
Not on like Nebraska's level. I mean, kids that are in the portal are trying to come here.
Right. How many?
If I'm in the portal,
yeah,
and I play any position on defense, I'm coming here.
How many situations exist where he could go and they would say, well, you're going to start here? I mean, there can't be that many, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to go find out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that it's a complete done deal. I mean, we've seen guys that have come back. So if you're Nebraska, you keep a good attitude on it and you try.
Well,
to
now there's another conversation. If you're a coach, I don't forget Nebraska anywhere. Can you make it a practice of saying, okay, you can go test the portal and see what's out there and then come back?
Oh, yeah.
In this situation, I think you do.
Oh, in this situation, you do it. And and just like Hayward up at Michigan State with Mel Tucker, he let him do the same thing. And now he's been to the Senior Bowl. He's went to the Combine. He came back and had a great year.
So this could be a leverage move. He's just trying to get some NIL money.
I don't know anything about that. I'm just saying it's happened before where
they go in and
Kenneth
come back.
Walker III came in. He's a starting running back. Hayward is like, hey, I want to go try to find a starting place to be running back. Mel Tucker, you're welcome back here, but you're going to play like kind of a H-back, fullback. End up being on a phenomenal team.
He was dangerous,
and he was the guy that they went to in the short passing game.
Yeah.
So it can happen. Plus, kids these days are sensitive. So like we just talked about this yesterday, Shafe, I don't know what your opinion is. As a coach, one of your most important jobs is constantly, I call it re-recruiting.
Yep.
Re-recruiting the guys on your roster. Because those are the guys you're going to win.
Absolutely.
With. And those are the guys that are watching you. That's the thing that I don't think enough coaches from youth level. I just was talking to somebody about this where players watch. And I had to learn this as coaches. They're taking score at an earlier age. And you can't just tell them something and it's not matching up. And you can't decide if you have you two to say, okay, I'm going to pick and choose when I want to use, make up these fictitious rules at any level. Players watch, man. They're smarter, or they think they're smarter. They ask more questions. Why? And they formulate their more opinions. So you have to kind of take that into account. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, look, being injured for a while is not, it's mental more than anything. So you got to take that into consideration. Is it something that has nothing to do with Nebraska or the situations? Like, okay, maybe he's just going through some stuff because he's not back physically, because he's watching, saying, man, I want to be out there, but I can't do it right yet.
Yeah.
And get him to have patience and say, hey, look, man, you're close. Because there's always that, like, I always say when you're coming back from an injury, that gray area where you make a lot of strides as far as improvement. And then there's like sometimes 2 weeks, 2 months of kind of just nothing. And that's what really wears on
Not
you.
even a setback. It's
not even a setback.
Maintain.
You're just maintaining. And then it's just all of a sudden your body just says, okay, I put you through the ringer mentally. Now we're going to take off.
Yeah. I mean, Nebraska's got a lot of problems ahead now in terms of trying to get some guys for the portal. But I mean, if Rogers does indeed go somewhere else, you have a lack of depth. You get a lot of young guys.
They already got a lack of depth.
The portal,
even more so now.
The guys coming and going at this point in time with the transfer portal is not as to me is not as alarming as it was or could it be thought of prior.
No,
in December,
because it's just the way of the world.
Well, just the way it's a lot more fluid now.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
I thought you meant time of year more so than.
Well, yeah,
this
time
is
of year.
Curious time of year. It is sure.
It is.
It is. That makes the situation more.
Because if it was me and and this is why I always had a question. I would ask if Adrian is in here. I would ask him the question. I'd like sitting across from me. I would ask you, like, when did you come up? Convince me when you came up with your decision, because I've been through a football season. I know what it's like. So to get to that decision, it's something that you had to think about long before the season's over when it happens in January.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but then also from a personal protection standpoint, if I'm a player and say I'm going to leave said university, January is the time you probably want to leave, because you want to be in there. You want to get into the winter conditioning. You want to get in through spring if you're healthy, and kind of, implant yourself in there from a leadership and workload standpoint, versus school's over and now these kids might be gone for like a month or two, and then you kind of have the summer and guys are ahead of you in the playbook and know everything. You spend 2 or 3 weeks trying to figure out workouts and all that other crap, and then boom, you're right into fall camp. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's why it's an interesting time to make this move.
For
right?
Casey Rogers, it makes less sense than if you're a guy who, okay, I'm probably going to transfer. I'm going to graduate in May, but why not get some film of me at spring, because I don't have game film to show people. Like if you're at a position where you can get some reps and you can get some film of you in the spring, you're going to graduate. You got 2 years.
There you go.
So there are guys 100% on Nebraska's roster, and I know this, whose mindset going into the spring was, I don't think I'm going to be on the fall roster, but I got to have a good spring because I got to take that film and I have to show people why this kid who's been in the program for 3 years and has never played deserves to go play for your team.
Right.
So,
yeah. I mean, there's these guys are a lot more involved and smarter in their own. It's not. We tend to think of it as like either they're not getting enough playing time, they're unhappy, or shadowy forces. No, sometimes they're thinking. They're thinking about, okay, this is my best opportunity,
or they're not believing what you're telling them.
Well, that and
or don't want to
Nebraska
believe.
has issues with that, where guys feel like they're told one thing and something else happens repeatedly.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Is
mean,
that
I don't
just
know
here?
about
There's
that.
probably a lot of places that's the case. So
Well, that's
false
life.
promise.
I mean, that's
When you're winning,
100%.
but when you're winning, it's a lot easier to deal with.
Sure,
absolutely.
When you're 3-9 and 4-8 and everything else,
and it's easier to leave. You know, I don't necessarily agree with it because I'd always say you know you're this close to being the class or the team that can kind of flip it, right?
Sure.
And
but you got to believe that.
Yeah, but I would be believing that.
Sure.
So it'd be hard.
You know
for me,
this.
right.
No one on that team thinks they're a 3-9 player.
Right.
And if you're a backup and you can't get on the field and you're on a 3-9 team and you're told repeatedly you're doing it right, but you can't play and you don't think you're a 3-9 player,
right?
You're not going to believe that you're going to be part that turns it around.
But see, then I would counter that and say, listen here, since you're so smart, right? Since they know more, you know, they think about things, I guess, what do you call it, holistically, right? So holistically, I was thinking about stuff last night, all night. Okay. Holistically.
What kind of bird do you want flying into your garage?
Holistically, if you're thinking about holistically, I'm thinking like, okay, well, you could have told me that last year. Now you have to convince me because your butt's on the line too.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
I
So the whole dynamics of if I'm the player and you're the coach and say like in was it 2020, 21, you told me that, and you know they look at on defense alone, they had a ton of defensive linemen. So even if you split the reps evenly, the reps there's too many, you know, play. But now, dude, you can't do
a lot
that.
of guys got a ton of reps.
Right. But you can't say, hey, we're gonna keep Schaefer on the back end. Or you get what I'm saying?
I do.
The time is now, and
Yeah.
and the clock is ticking, just like that one there. It is ticking, and as you get closer, it's louder and louder, and then that's when the pressure starts to ramp up.
Right.
And that's what you should actually welcome it.
Well, some do and some don't.
Right.
I've had a former player texting me about this that say maybe he wasn't ready for this. He wasn't ready for the spotlight. He wasn't.
Yeah, and
some guys don't. They don't want. Some guys don't want it.
Some guys say they want it. And
Yeah.
some guys they don't.
And then when they're in it, it
And
isn't
then,
comfortable.
You know, it's. I watched this show called The Last Kingdom, and people, I like it because you can, if you really watch it. Of course, people get heads chopped off and all that, but you learn things.
That's great.
You learn things about leadership and weaknesses in people. Based, and now, granted, I know it's a TV show, but you can learn stuff from it. There's a king that was his whole thing. He wanted peace, right? But that's what he was telling you. But at the end of the day, he was fearful of going to war.
Whoa.
And that's essentially what you're saying. So it's one, and I always say it's one thing to be a backup and be the guy that comes in and flashes a couple plays. Being the dude is
Being
a totally
dude's a different
being the
world.
guy.
It's a different
That
world.
they're up there when you're being here, right? On the depth chart, and you're coming in and you're rolling up to the game, okay, I'm gonna get 10 to 12 plays, so I'm gonna go in there, and you're kind of freewheeling,
right?
But when you got to answer the bell 50, 60 plays,
And teams know all your tendencies. They know exactly where you're coming from. It's a different world.
And not only that, it takes a hell of a commitment,
right?
Because there's no days off, mentally, physically, spiritually, that you have to be ready.
Now-
Because in your mind, you're thinking they're getting ready for me, versus they're getting ready for Sip.
Different.
And then me and Schaefer are coming
It's a different world.
Yeah, it's a different world.
Now, the one thing I've learned from this discussion is that you could drive yourself crazy wondering why a player makes this move. You just don't know. There could be a.
They don't even know.
Sometimes they
100%.
Sometimes they don't.
They
100%.
it might be just
If they knew, you wouldn't have 1,000 people
Right.
that are in the
a lot of them are short-sighted. A lot of them find interest, outside, and it's a different situation. If this is Ohio State or something, it's a huge deal. A guy like Haskell Garrett, right? Right. What was his name Haskell
Garrett.
Say Haskell, right? The guy. He's gonna be an NFL draft pick, I think. So Haskell Garrett decides after spring, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna go somewhere else on a national championship type of caliber. It's not dummying it down. And other people could argue, it says, okay, well, in a high pressure season, coming off a 3-9 season, a lot of close games, it might be more because Ohio State probably has 2 or 3 Haskell Garretts coming, where we have depth issues.
Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Georgia
plus-
just lost a starting receiver. Georgia just
Yeah.
lost a starting receiver to Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting receiver.
Right.
I mean,
And then
sometimes there's no rhyme or
Alabama
reason.
lost the guy that
To
played
Texas.
at Texas.
Yeah.
But look, that's that situation is a lot different because of the competition and all that. Because it's like the Kentucky in basketball. You're 5-star 1 year, and here comes another 5-star with true first round talent, and you're probably third or fourth round. And we're going to try to figure it out somewhere else. But I also don't think the door is completely closed. I would like to think it's not. If I was working with the team, I'd be talking to Casey and trying to get in front of him and talk to his parents and stuff like that. And
Well, you try to get him more money. You try to get him money.
No, I mean, but here's this.
Now, why would you dismiss that?
Hold on, I was just about to answer
Okay.
here. Okay, cut off Carl. I mean,
all right.
I was yes. That's part of what I'll be talking to you about. Okay, but first I'm going to talk to you as Casey and find out what's going on, and then I'm also going to find out what I haven't been doing. Me as your leader, whatever, or even if it's another teammate, right? Find out that. Then we can start talking about money, right? But if you think, and this is where you can fall in the trap of the NIL, if you think that just throwing money is going to fix it, that's a short-term problem. That's like a kid that you say, you know what, he's crying, I'm going to get him a toy or go get him a PlayStation. 2 weeks later, he's going to be crying. You got to find the problem, come with a solution, but then also up the ante a little bit.
Yeah.
But then as you up the ante, it's not just one-sided. We're up in the ante. Okay, well then these are the expectations.
Sure.
And then therefore it's a called compromise. But that's me. I don't know much. I'm just a old retired 3-time champion, don't know a damn tiddly poo.
I feel like you're an eagle soaring after hooting all night.
Yeah, you are soaring this morning.
This is how I roll, probably 6-7 days out of the week. I mean, that's how I do it.
Boom.
I mean, if it's 31 days in a month, I can roll this hard at least 28, 29.
Wow. You're on.
Yeah, I mean, that's
you're on.
This is how I roll.
You maybe should do that more
Fly, eagle
often,
fly.
actually.
Well, I don't know if I could do it more often than I do.
He's giving himself 2 off days, maybe a third a month.
Yeah.
Every
no off days.
Hey, every quarter, I'll take an extra day off
just for you.
Okay.
And then my day off, then we got to roll together.
Okay. All right. Damn.
All I thought was, what would Sip do right now?
Okay.
Being in this environment, you know what I mean?
I can do it.
Sip. PBA would be good for you. It's spacious. I want to get you in my nice little garage, and we can sit there and watch a game, and there's not a lot of ventilation.
Okay.
You can barely see me over there. And we just see the TV, just barely, just a glimpse.
Where'd you go, Jay?
You're in the twilight zone.
Yeah, well, there's a lot we could think about stuff.
I know, we could solve the world's problems just
All
like
right.
that.
I'd like to see that.
Would you like to see that?
Would you like to participate?
Yeah, we could all 4 go together sometime. Do that. Check it out.
All right, good spillover, Jay.
Old School is next for Mike Schaefer and Steve Sipple. I'm Jake Sorensen. See you.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and